software and control, check them remotely, see how they're operating. It will save you time and money when installing with clients. If it's very easy for people to say your devices aren't working, but maybe if you can access the device remotely, you can see what the problem is without having to go all the way to your client site to fix it for him. So yeah, let's look at some some of the functions of these systems. So first of all, we're going to start with GWN embedded controllers. What is an embedded system? Well, an embedded system is a device that relates to microchips or microprocessors that it's inside of the little computer that does some functions. So what are the functions of the embedded controllers? It's think about a little computer in your device. So when doing um, deployments of Grandstream devices, it's mostly based on a master-slave architecture where one device is a controller, a master, and the other devices are, we can call them slaves or managed by the master. So you can have up to 50 slaves on each master device. So here in the example, we have an access point and we have a router. So there are 50 devices for each of your access points and 150 on your routers, being as routers have more of an ability to process information. So they're having a higher capacity to control other devices in the system and route them towards the internet. So if you're doing small deployments, using access points is perfectly fine. It's correct. If you're doing large deployments, investing in a router and switching devices, it's more recommended for you so you don't have problems in the future. So this master slave architecture, it will allow you to manage all of your access points and monitor your client's interface, everything through the GWN cloud management system. As you can see, these are some screenshots of the management system where you can, through your master, you can see like all the per devices in the network. You can add them just by looking at like discovery. You can upgrade them through here. You can, if you're having trouble finding them in the system, you can go directly adding through SSID, through a MAC address, through IP address. So embedded controllers can act as a controller for all of your access points. So right here, the embedded control would be this last device next to the internet. So all of your other systems are connected. You have your IPPVX, you have PCs, you have phones, you have Wi-Fi devices, all being routed through a switch. And the switch is being communicated to your master device where you can manage everything. You can manage Wi-Fi systems, access points, phones, IPPV PCs, and you have more control over your network with this. So when adding new devices, just discover them, pair them, and provision them, and you're done. It's a really fast way to connect all of your systems. Talking a little more about master failover, um, Grandstream recommends having like a failover or a second master, where if your primary system shuts down, loses power, maybe it stops working for whatever reason, you have another system in place to take over. On the failover system, the failover master will be connected for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then it will shut down, go back to slave mode. So if you're expecting like critical operations, you wouldn't want this kind of system. This is mostly for like a small office, a medium office, a small business. But there is another way to configure it. This is just like a backup. Like, okay, you lose power in one device, so you have the other one while you reboot the first one. You don't lose connection to the internet, or you don't lose maybe one's updating, so you lose a little bit of the functions there. So you have the other one as backup. But as we said before, don't want, if it doesn't come back for whatever reason between 20 and 30 minutes, you don't want to lose your connection. So there is some way to do like a takeover where if one fails, the other one will take over as a master, but you need to configure it that way. You need to give it the admin password so you are able to use it as a second, like a backup master, not as much as like a temporary backup, but a permanent solution if you're having some problems. So yeah, after looking just a little bit about the built-in controllers you have with the Grandstream system. We can look at GWN Cloud and GWN Manager. What's the difference? You'll probably go with one or the other. So I'm gonna tell you just real quick. The difference is GWN Cloud is cloud-based. It's not on your premise. You can access it from anywhere, and you don't really need to do anything. It's a free software that comes with Grandstream. You could have a problem. Some people prefer to have an on-premise device where they can run the system. So for that, you have a GWN manager. That's like like a software you can run on a device, and you can have if if you were having issues thinking like, what if GWN Cloud shuts down, is down for repairs, and I really need to look at the system? Well, it's up most of the time, like 99% of the time, GWN Cloud is working. But if you're worried about that 1%, you can use GWN Manager. So the management systems, this a little overview, where you can manage site A, site B, site D, site C, and other remote clients. So most people use GWN Cloud because it's a free software. You need to put it anywhere. You can access it anywhere you are. So you do like installation at one hotel in one city, and you have an apartment complex in another town. Uh, and you're like everywhere. Maybe you're in San Antonio and you have jobs in Austin, you have jobs in Plano, you have some little towns here and there. Maybe you're going all the way down to New Laredo or stuff like that. So you have different sites in different areas, but you can manage them all through the GWN cloud without having any issues, and you don't have to go to the site every time you're having a problem. You can consult the GWN cloud and see if your system is working or not. And you can configure the system like remotely. Like if your client needs, hey, we wanted to do this or limit that. You don't have to go to the site and connect your computer directly to the network. You can do it all the way from your office or your home. Or if you're traveling, like if you're on a business trip or something, and they're calling you back home that they need help with some configuration, you don't need to go there directly. So the difference between GWN Cloud and GWN Manager. Well, cloud is, as we said, cloud-based solution to manage all your devices without any additional on-premise infrastructure. So you don't need like an extra device on site. You can have some access points there, and you can look at them through the internet with no issue. There's high-level security since all the traffic between the GWN devices and cloud is secured. You have an app that goes on iOS and Android, the GWN app, and you don't have limits on numbers of sites of devices. It's really important for most people. Um, for example, there are some um, devices that will ask you like, okay, if you need like more to add additional sites, you're gonna need to pay like an annual fee. And we like to stay away from that. If you're already buying some devices, you want all the features, right? So the GWN manager is for the more conscious network installation. the people that like to manage their own stuff. So you have an on-premise self-hosted solution to manage all your devices. So you are running the GWN software directly in your device in a site. And you can discover and adopt new devices in your network. There's also an app for it. You can use on the app. You have up to 3,000 devices with high performance hardware. This is like on-premise. So yeah, the difference, you're on site, you're on the cloud. So let's go a little bit further with this. There are some version requirements to use the GWN uh, devices. So you can look at them under the About section. You can find the minimum recommended, uh, find the minimum and the recommended for each device. So this is like the minimum software. If you're running like lower than this, you need to update your software. And well, this list is updated frequently, so don't stick with that. This is an old presentation that I made, so you should probably like look at the release notes, see what is the recommended software at the moment, so you don't lose any features or have any compatibility issues. So these are the technical specifications for GWN. So you have WPA multi-security levels, bandwidth rules, user privilege management, no limits on sites or devices, but on the GWN cloud, but you do have limits on your devices for the GWN manager. But as I said, because it's like on site, I don't think you're connecting 3,000 devices on the same network. Or if you are, well, congratulations, you are a really, really good installer. And you can manage well, I think 3,000 devices is a little bit too much, but if you can do it, hey, more power to you, right? So to sign up, sign into the GWN Cloud, you have to go GWN Cloud/login. That is the site. If you don't have an account, you sign up for it. If you're using Grandstream devices and you don't have a GWN Cloud account, you should. I really recommend it. It's going to make your job way easier. Now for the self-hosted device, you have to install it. It has to be installed in premise, and you have to manage it. If you want the documentation, I can share it with you. Just send me an email at ricardo.flores uh I'm sorry, at gmail.com. Okay, so now we're looking at the dashboard of the GWN, what to expect. This is the overview page and provides you with general information. You have warnings and notifications. You can see all of your online or offline devices that you have. For example, if you took out like devices that you added to your GWN account and you disconnected them because you didn't need them in the installation, maybe it was a little bit too much. They were generating too much noise. You can take them out and you will still see them like offline because well you have them registered but it's not connected, so maybe this is one of the issues, or maybe you're having an issue with the device that is not working correctly. So you can look at router switches, access points, and you can control each one, control the bandwidth, look at statistics, um, look at guests, sessions. You can create new guest sessions, remove them, and control like your most used Grandstream devices. So you can also monitor when you're having like issues, like hey, the access points are not working. This is what I'm saying. Like you can look at the device, see how much packets you're losing or an average. It runs it for you. So maybe there's a high packet loss because there's a problem with the internet and they're blaming the access points. Or maybe your access point is having some issues with noise and you can, like, for example, here you have this is all green, and the one on top is having packet losses, and it's also disconnecting. You can see like in the gray sections. So maybe it's having some power issues, or there's too much noise nearby, and that's why it's disconnecting or having a high packet loss. So maybe it's not in an ideal place, or maybe something's messing with the data there. This is a little more of the network overview. This is how you add a device. So behind all of the access points by Grandstream, you have a serial number, MAC address, and your Wi-Fi password. So when you start going into, you can add the device through MAC address. It's password printed. So this is the easiest way. This is a method I would recommend. But there are other methods. You can add it manually, or you can use the application to take a picture of the information on the sticker, and it will add it automatically. Or you can transfer devices from your local. If you already connected the system, you can just add the local master, and it will add all of the devices to your system. But it only applies to Grandstream products, so only the Grandstream network devices. So we're going to go through the method of adding the devices. So you go to the tab on devices. Under it, you just click on the add button, and you enter the MAC address and just click add, and it should appear like on the devices tab. If you're adding 6 or 7 or more devices, and you want to go like do this manually each time, there is also a way to import all your CSV files to do it faster. And you can also export this information. I would recommend exporting it if you want to save like a backup. Um, so you, if there's ever a problem in the site, you have all the information from the access points, you have the MAC addresses, you have the IP addresses. So if one goes down, maybe you can look it up on your database and see, okay, this one's, and like add little notes there, like where do you install each one, so you don't go like looking through the site like where each one of these devices is the one that's failing, right? It's gonna make it a little bit easier on you. So this is the second method. You go through the app on your phone, and you just take a picture or scan the sticker on the back, and that should also add the device. And this is the third system, where you access the web UI of the. So you enter through the web, like locally, the master access point, and you can transfer all of the information to your GWN cloud or your GWN manager. So it exports everything into the software on the cloud. There are also other methods of auto discovery if it's the easiest one, but if they're not on the right subnet, maybe you have 2 switches, it could have some problems there. So I would recommend like the manual version. Maybe there's some times where you don't know the network where you're installing. You're having some issues. Um, Maybe there's another switch. Maybe there are 2 WANs, and you don't know which one you're connected to. So you're having trouble visualizing through like software adoption. Maybe it's easier for you to go through the manual process of adding the devices. Okay. So device management. The device page allows you to add and adopt, export the information, configure, reboot, return to inventory, move a different network, reset and delete from the account. So these are all the options you have when you add the access points to the GWN cloud. You can manage them from anywhere in the world. You can reboot from anywhere. You can delete, reset from anywhere. So it's a really powerful tool for the installers that have many sites. Many people do like the GWN system. They like Grandstream products because when they install Grandstream phones, I think it's easier to have one ecosystem of devices. And Grandstream gives you like for small and medium business or even large enterprises and hotels, it gives you a lot of options. So it's really attractive to have a lot of Grandstream devices in the same site. So you can group manage the devices. So group management is a local group that contains devices for the same model, different models. This helps to make GWN devices management easier. You can apply certain configurations on this device at the same time, and you can apply it to the device groups that contains devices. So you can edit through groups. You can have at home access points. You have your own group and you can manage them through the group. The push configuration helps you push GWN Cloud or GWN Manager configuration to the local site of added GWN devices. So if you already have some devices configured, you can just send some configurations through one click instead of accessing each of the devices and adding them one by one. You don't have to go through a speed test on Coursera or anything like that. Uh, GWN has its own built-in tool to help you do AP speed tests, I'm sorry. So when you're installing access points, it's really like the thing at the end to always look at speed tests, see if they're connected, if there are not any problems. It can usually tell you like if your setup is correct, maybe you're having a trouble with a cable and you're not giving it the juice that you're telling the client that it's actually getting. So through the device tab, you can also move access points from each one. So if you have a device in some site that you don't need and you're gonna use it for another project, you don't need to delete it. You just need to move it from one to project to another. These are other wireless um, sorry. These are some other wireless configurations. You can look at create or delete SSIDs, assign to specific routers or access points SSIDs, or set up Wi-Fi schedules. You can monitor all your clients through the software. You can also do some access control, have time policy access lists, bandwidth limits. This is really important for business, the captive portal. You can add and edit, and you can also add third-party captive portals. This is how it looks. So you make a splash page, you can customize it, you can add a logo, you can add more information. Just give it a simple password, social login authentication, or add radio saver vouchers, active directory. The vouchers are the ones that they're using like in coffee shops or hotels, where you assign like a voucher to the person that the voucher is like, okay, this internet code is valid, this Wi-Fi code is valid from, let's say, Monday to Tuesday, because that's the time he's leaving. So you want to give him like an access, a Wi-Fi access password, like for the whole week or forever. If he ever come back or something like that, you want to control who's on your account. I'm sorry, who's on your system. So you can manage that through there. You can also send them like through social media, like maybe your splash page sends them through your Facebook, through Twitter, or some other type of social media. So when they see the splash page, they have to connect with a voucher, with a password, with your their accounts. And you have a little more information. You can also add advertisement. This is just a marketing feature which allows you to play advertisement upon entering the captive portal. You can upload videos or upload multiple images that will be like ads for your guests. The admins can add the guests and create vouchers for them. Each voucher can be customized accordingly. Then the voucher codes can be given to clients to join the network as guests for a limited amount of time, and you can also control the bandwidth. There's also a feature like looking at the map. You can link your GWN devices and you can see them on a map. Like, so they're telling you, like, if maybe you're in San Antonio, you have a site in Austin, one site in Plano, Texas, one in El Paso, one in Laredo. So you can look at you can geolocate them by IP addresses or by MAC addresses. You can look at the map and see if they're working or not. You can see this one is offline. Also, a really cool feature that some Regi manages, but more people are starting to integrate it. Also, Ubiquiti uses it. It's floor plans. It's a very convenient way to deploy devices in the right places. So when you're quoting your client, it looks very professional to come with a floor plan and show him like, okay, so this is the signal in 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and you only need like this amount of access points. This is going to work best for you. It looks professional. It looks very honest to tell the client like maybe you quoted him like 10 devices. Maybe he only needs half of that. So we're sorry. We were looking at the construction of the place, and you only need like this much to cover it. So getting with a floor plan heat map, it looks very good for you, very professional, and maybe you can like have an edge over other installers that just like you quoted like a large number of devices just to be safe. But if you tell them like, oh, it's actually this much, it's going to look better on your presentation. I'm sorry. So site survey, integrated Wi-Fi scanners. Also, an integrated Wi-Fi scanner will show you like, okay, where you're having problems. Like if you do a correct floor plan, you won't have many issues. But you can do like a site survey, and you can scan the Wi-Fi to see if you're having any other issues with the network. Like maybe there's too much noise in some place. Maybe there's an antenna somewhere that's making interference, and you need to move that access point. You can look at it through here through the RSSI. There are some other settings that you can do, policy routing, and NAT pool, and the schedule. So for scheduling, it's really simple. You have a site where you don't need like you're in an office and well it closes at 5. So from maybe 5:30 upwards, you don't need the access points to be giving Wi-Fi signal, so you can schedule them off. Or maybe during the weekend you can schedule them off. If anybody comes in through the weekend, they can ask for a voucher to be activated. Users can set up mesh network parameters under the settings Wi-Fi mesh. So the mesh function is very simple. You connect a device and you tell them like enable mesh. So if you're not able to run Ethernet cable for whatever reason, you can connect your device on some other place nearby and you can have them connected by mesh. We only recommend up to 3 jumps in mesh. After that, the signal will not be acceptable for a Wi-Fi connection. Actually, it's like in worst case scenarios, 3 jumps, but I would recommend one or two like max. In three, you're getting like a iffy connections, and a lot of people are gonna be complaining about it. So if there's no other way, maybe like a third jump is possible, but I do not recommend it. I think a wireless cascade of 3 is a little bit too high, but it's within parameters, so you can do it if you're looking for it. You can set up alerts, uh, web notifications, so you can have if they go down, it's gonna send you like a message, so you can look at it maybe before the client is talking to you about it. Maybe there's different types of alerts, performance, security, system, network. You want to have them active for the user. He wants to be um, looking at like the devices. You have a lot of you have a view of the alerts through the system, or you can also receive them on your phone, like web notifications. It's going to be sending emails to you, so you need like an email address. You can add like the admins of the network, the IT guys, or if the owner wants to have it on his phone, you can send it to him. What Grandstream is like really looking into jumping into network devices, and security is very important. So they're upping up their security systems. They offer the ability to prevent malicious intrusion to the network and introducing a rogue AP detection feature. There are some firewall settings you can have through all your network devices. And you can even do hotspots from your access points. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the roles of user management. So you are the super admin. That's going to be your players level. And you can give the owner or the IT guys a platform administrator, but you always have to be the super administrator if you want, we're going to be on the top. So this is your account of the platform. This is your account as a super admin, and you can give like platform administrator, a read-only network admin, or guest editor. So depending on the application, and depending on the application, you're going to give this roles to the people that work at the site. But you cannot give like a super admin. That's your account, and it's unique to you when signing in. Hmm. Grandstream does a lot of work with API. You can use API on the PBXs, you can use API on the switches. So there's also API on the management software. So you can manage it. You can use API to manage access points, but you should apply to it. So create a network, a device access ID, add a voucher group. So you can control like you can use vouchers through the Grandstream software, but you can also add a third-party software to manage your APIs. This is just a little tree to show you like the devices that are connected through a spanning tree of network topology. You can display the network layout and visualize each device that is connected. Okay, that's the whole presentation. Thanks for joining. Do you have any questions? Anything I can help you with? Okay. Well, that will be all for today. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Hope you learned something new. And if you ever need help with your Grandstream devices, well, we can help you with that. I'll be happy to help you. Just send me an email to ricardo.flores@gmail. I'm sorry, at fcom.net. Thank you very much. Have a great day.